The vast majority on the planet have a dread of snakes. However, the dread appears to be completely sane seeing as how perilous a portion of these snakes can be. In any case, an inquiry asks to be posed, are winds actually that hazardous? The basic answer is that while a greater part of the snakes are innocuous, we actually need to keep a distance. Nibbles from venomous or non-venomous snakes can be amazingly difficult. There are many hazardous snakes on the planet and it is in every case better to understand what sort of snake you are managing before you choose your subsequent stage. Along these lines, to be better educated we bring to you the best 10 deadliest snakes on the planet. Then hit the like button and let's get started. Number 10. Belchers Sea Snake. Otherwise called the faint-banded sea snake, the Belchers Sea Snake is incredibly venomous. A solitary chomp from this snake can kill an individual in under 30 minutes. These snakes are generally little and have a slim body with a yellow case and green crossbands. They can develop to lengths of up to 0.46 to 1 meter. According to ongoing examinations, the Belchers sea snake normally benefits from little fish and eel. This hazardous snake is additionally discovered to be of a bashful and shy personality. This venomous snake is fundamentally found among the tropical reefs of the Indian Ocean, Gulf of Thailand, New Guinea, Indonesia and along the Philippines coast. As per a few examinations, the Belchers sea snake's toxin is multiple times more grounded than the inland Taipan. Its toxin contains significant degrees of neurotoxins and myotoxins and it is believed that one drop is sufficiently able to kill 1,800 individuals, procuring it a spot on the rundown of probably the deadliest snake on the planet. Fortunately for people, they try not to assault us on account of their disposition. Indications of the toxin incorporate outrageous queasiness and heaving, headache, migraine, loose bowels, outrageous stomach torment, discombobulation, and seizures. Some different side effects are loss of motion, muscle weakness, outrageous dying, panic, respiratory disappointment, and renal disappointment. Prompt treatment is pivotal to forestall demise. Hydrophis belcheri can handle their toxin emission and they can pause their breathing for almost 8 hours. Number 9. Mojave Rattlesnake. Otherwise called the Mojave Green or Moderate Killer, the Mojave Rattlesnake is considered to have the most intense toxin among all the diamondback species, making it probably the deadliest snake on the planet. These snakes fluctuate from light green to brown in shading and can without much of a stretch mix with their environmental factors. They can grow up to 1 meter long, with the longest being 1.37 meters. They have a substantial body and a 3-sided head. Mojave greens are nighttime and cover up in the tunnels of different well-evolved creatures or rocks during the day. They are forceful towards individuals and will shield themselves enthusiastically when upset. When surprised, they shake their tail, making a humming sound to caution gatecrashers prior to striking. These snakes fundamentally feed on reptiles, frogs, birds, little rodents, and hares. Local to Mexico and the United States, they are found in California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. A chomp from a Mojave rattlesnake frequently has postponed indications, prompting an underestimation of the seriousness. In practically no time, chomp casualties will see vision issues, trouble talking, gulping, just as muscle shortcoming. The toxin causes trouble in breathing and can prompt respiratory disappointment whenever left untreated. While fatalities are generally uncommon as the neutralizer is promptly accessible, one can't deny this snake a spot on the rundown of the most venomous snakes on the planet. The youthful are brought into the world in live births and not incubated from eggs. They are completely evolved when conceived. These snakes favor open and parched living spaces. Now and again they have been known to pursue people. Number 8. Normal death adder. Viewed as perhaps the deadliest snake on the planet, these passing adders may appear to be like a snake, one more of the world's deadliest snakes. Despite the fact that it's anything but a snake, the adder comes from the elapid group of snakes, actually like the cobra and black mamba. They have a wide, leveled, 3-sided head and a thick body that is covered with red, brown, and dark shaded groups. They are short with little scopes and develop to a normal size of 0.4 meters. These adders have huge teeth and a draw that takes after a little worm toward the finish of their tails. These snakes are single in nature and are principally nighttime. They are bosses of cover and can without much of a stretch stow away underneath free leaves and trash. While these snakes are not forceful, they are risky to people who adventure into bushland living spaces. as they like to disguise themselves as opposed to get away, an ideal catastrophe waiting to happen in the works, arrival them on the rundown of the deadliest snakes on the planet. They basically feed on little well-evolved creatures, birds, frogs, and little reptiles. Local to Australia, these snakes are found in New South Wales, Queensland, and South Australia. This venomous snake is viewed as perhaps the deadliest snake in Australia and the world, as their toxin is a profoundly harmful neurotoxin and their chomps can bring about death inside 6 hours whenever left untreated. Their toxin regularly causes loss of motion and can totally close down the respiratory framework. In spite of the fact that antidotes have been created for its chomp, the toxin can in any case cause demise as the counteragent can just stoppage the movement of the side effects to some extent. They have the longest teeth among every one of the snakes in Australia and they can lie on paws for their prey for quite a long time at a time. Number 7. Russell's Vipers. Otherwise called chain vipers, Russell's viper is quite possibly the most venomous snakes in India. One nibble from which can cause over-the-top dying. This likewise makes it quite possibly the most hazardous snakes in India and is liable for the most snakebite episodes and passings among every one of the venomous snakes. Profound yellow, tan, or brown in shading, with a progression of dim earthy colored spots, every one of which has a dark ring around it, that run the length of the body. These snakes can develop to a limit of about 1.5 meters. These snakes are single reptiles and basically chase around evening time. In cooler climate, they are known to turn out to be more dynamic in any event, during the day. While they move gradually and drowsily, they can be forceful when compromised, making them truly destructive snakes. Principally, these snakes feed on rodents, however they will likewise devour little reptiles, land crabs, scorpions, and other arthropods. The younglings of this venomous snake by and large chase reptiles, fostering a specialization in chasing rodents as they become grown-ups. They can be found in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Thailand, Pakistan, Cambodia, China, Taiwan, and Indonesia. These snakes are extremely solid and can respond viciously to being gotten, which is the reason numerous individuals consider them the world's most hazardous snake. They will either nibble and let go or hang on for a long time. Their toxin is profoundly deadly to people in portions of 40 to 70 milligrams. A chomp can cause unnecessary dying, especially in the gums and pee, a quick drop in circulatory strain and pulse, rankling, putrefaction, spewing, facial growing, kidney disappointment, and blood thickening. A nibble can likewise cause extreme tissue harm and around 29% of survivors endure harm to their pituitary organs. They can lift a large portion of their body off the ground while assaulting and they are named after Patrick Russell, a Scottish herpetologist who previously depicted a significant number of India's snakes. Number 6. Tiger snake. This profoundly venomous snake is perhaps the deadliest snake in Australia. The tiger snake's toxin contains a blood-thickening specialist and nerve paralyzer, hence it can likewise be viewed as one of the world's deadliest snakes. They are profoundly factor in shading and are regularly joined like the stripes on a tiger. A tiger snake can develop to lengths of up to 1 to 1.5 meters. These are singular snakes and cooperate just for mating purposes. Tiger snake is dynamic during the day. In any case, it is known to likewise be dynamic during warm evenings. Like cobras, they are forceful when surprised. In spite of the fact that they as a rule stay away from individuals, they may assault whenever upset or compromised. While the tiger snake chiefly benefits from frogs, it likewise eats different reptiles, fish, birds, and little warm-blooded creatures. Local to Australia, they are found in Tasmania, Queensland, South Australia, New South Wales, and Victoria. A tiger snake's toxin contains profoundly intense neurotoxins, coagulants, myotoxins, and hemolysins. Once nibbled by the tiger snake, the casualty will encounter outrageous torment in the foot and neck, body shivering, unnecessary perspiring, deadness, inconvenience breathing, and loss of motion. The toxin can be deadly to people and the death rate is almost 60%. They frequently chase in the water and can remain lowered for as long as 9 minutes and they are known to likewise climb trees and shrubs. Number 5. Dark Mamba. Otherwise called the fastest snake in the world. The black mamba is the second longest venomous snake after the king cobra. They are known for their enormous size, speed, and amazingly intense toxin, making them perhaps the deadliest snake on the planet. Within this present snake's mouth is dark, subsequently its name, black mamba. They have a final resting place formed head and can differ in colors from olive, yellowish-brown, khaki and gunmetal, yet they are once in a while dark. A normal black mamba is 2 to 2.5 meters long, with a most extreme length of 4.3 meters. While they have gained notoriety for being forceful, black mambas are by and large discovered to be bashful and apprehensive. They basically eat little well-evolved creatures and birds. While they lean toward warm-blooded prey, a dark mamba will likewise benefit from different snakes. They can be found in Angola, Botswana, Central African Republic, DR Congo, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Somalia, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. On the off chance that they are upset or cornered, black mambas will assault with rehashed nibbles. Their toxin is very harmful and only 2 drops are apparently enough to kill most people. A black mamba's toxin assaults both the sensory system and the heart, and most chomps are deadly, making them a dreaded animal in its local area, just as perhaps the most perilous snakes on the planet. They are a portion of the world's quickest snakes and are fit for paces of in excess of 12 miles, 19 kilometers, each hour, and thus will be the one which can kill the quickest. And in the wild, a dark mamba can live for as long as 11 years. In imprisonment, they can live for more than 20 years. Number 4. Blue Crite. Otherwise called Asia's most venomous snake. Otherwise called the Malayan Crite, the blue Crite is an exceptionally venomous snake of the elapid family. Its toxin can incapacitate its casualties' strong framework, a really terrifying idea that has acquired this snake a spot on the rundown of the deadliest snakes on the planet. The blue Crite has a shading example of pale blue-dark crossbands isolated by yellowish-white interspaces. They can grow up to lengths of around 1.1 meters. These Crites are for the most part not forceful or emphatically guarded and will in general chomp just when truly incited. While they essentially feed on different snakes, they additionally eat reptiles, mice, frogs and other little creatures. Blue Crites have been discovered to be fundamentally nighttime while chasing and have shown an inclination for fields, openings, and now and then even homes. They are additionally found close to water sources like waterways, lakes, and lakes. These Crites are dominatingly found in peninsular Malaysia, Focal Vietnam, Thailand, Bali, Lao People's Democratic Republic, Indonesia, Singapore, and Sumatra. A blue Crite's toxin comprises of amazingly incredible neurotoxins comprised of presynaptic and postsynaptic poisons. This combination is known to straightforwardly assault a person's capacity to talk or think plainly and can incapacitate the strong framework. The toxin likewise assaults a person's respiratory framework, causing suffocation in no time. The nibble causes no agony, giving the casualty a bogus consolation. Notwithstanding, whenever left untreated, passing can go inside 4 hours. They are boundless in their districts, however experiences are exceptional. They lean toward the wet season and like different Crites, they shroud their heads under the curls of their body when undermined. Number 3. Inland Taipan. Otherwise called a snake with the deadliest venom in the world. Otherwise called the furious snake, the inland taipan is one of the world's most venomous snakes. A chomp from this assortment of taipan frequently causes loss of motion of the casualty's sensory system and clumps the blood. The inland taipan, one of 3 kinds of taipans, coastal, inland and central ranges, is dull tan in shading, going from a rich, dim tone to a tannish light green, contingent upon the season. This assortment of taipan is discovered to be more modest than the beachfront assortment and can grow up to 1.7 meters long. A singular animal, these snakes principally come out during the day. They are most dynamic promptly toward the beginning of the day and by and large invest their energy searching for food and luxuriating in the sun. Nonetheless, they are likewise seen out in the evenings on cooler days. Albeit the inland taipan is a very venomous and perilous snake, they are typically modest and like to get away from inconvenience. They will, be that as it may, protect themselves and strike whenever irritated, misused or halted from circumventing, acquiring it a spot on the rundown of the deadliest snakes on the planet. Inland taipans just feed on vertebrates, for the most part rodents like the long-haired rodent, the Fields rodent, and the house mouse. Local to Australia, they can be found in the southern piece of the nation, Queensland, and the Northern Territory. The toxin of an inland taipan comprises of taipoxin, a mind-boggling blend of neurotoxins, procoagulants, and myotoxins that can upset breathing, cause draining in veins and tissues, and deaden and harm muscles. Respiratory loss of motion can set in somewhere in the range of 2 to 6 hours after you are chomped. Inland Taipan's toxin is exceptionally adjusted to kill warm-blooded creatures. It's anything but an incredibly quick and dexterous snake and can hit immediately with outrageous exactness. They change the shade of their skin for thermoregulation, permitting them to retain all the more light in colder months. Number 2. Ruler Cobra, the world's longest venomous snake. In India, the king cobra isn't just adored and loved yet additionally dreaded, as they are perhaps the most venomous snakes of India. In one chomp, a king cobra conveys a huge measure of neurotoxins that instigates loss of motion. They are fearsome to the point that they wind up on practically all arrangements of world's deadliest snakes. Ruler cobra is dull olive or brown in shading with dark groups and white and yellow crossbands with cream or light yellow undersides. A king cobra compares 3 to 4 meters long and has clogged pores with 2 crossbars close to the nose and 2 behind the eyes. Youthful cobras are glossy dark with slender yellow groups. Albeit the king cobra is modest and maintains a strategic distance from a conflict with people, it is the absolute most hazardous snakes on the planet when incited. It is, be that as it may, exceptionally minding towards its posterity. Lord Cobra is the lone snake that forms a home for its eggs and watches them till they incubate. A female king cobra is an exceptionally committed parent, an uncommon attribute among snakes. They fundamentally eat different snakes, counting the venomous ones. Be that as it may, when food is scant they likewise eat reptiles, birds, and rodents. Lord cobras are found in Bangladesh, Bhutan, Brunei, Cambodia, China, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand and Vietnam. The world's longest venomous snake, a king cobra's toxin is solid to the point that it's anything but an elephant in only a couple hours and can make passing in 50–60% of untreated human cases. Lord cobras are monogamous, which implies they mate with just one accomplice forever. The longest venomous snake, king cobras have a sluggish metabolic rate, thus can go for quite a long time without food after an enormous dinner. A solitary chomp from a king cobra can kill an elephant. Number 1. Sawscaled Viper, the deadliest snake in the world. In spite of the fact that its toxin isn't extremely intense, the Sawscaled Viper is considered as one of the world's deadliest snakes as it is accepted to be answerable for more human fatalities than any remaining snake set up. These snakes have a heavy body with a pear-formed head which is particular from the neck. Grown-up saw-scaled vipers range long from 0.3 to 0.9 meters and they come in shades of brown, dim, or orange with hazier dorsal blotches and parallel spots. In contrast to most snakes, the saw-scaled viper moves sideways, sidewinding velocity. They are nighttime and feed on vertebrates, birds, different snakes, reptiles, creatures of land and water, scorpions and centipedes. They can be found in dry areas and dry savannas north of the equator across Africa, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and the Middle East. Saw-scaled vipers are viewed as one of deadliest snakes of the world since they are frequently found in populated regions and an absence of promptly open antibody in provincial regions adds to their lethality. So obviously, the strength of the toxin makes little difference to the rundown of world's deadliest snakes. Saw-scaled vipers can live for as long as 23 years. Up to 80% of these grown-ups move up shrubberies and trees when it downpours. In northern locales, they sleep during winter. We discussed top 10 most venomous snakes in the world. Comment your ideas below. It helps for our viewers. Subscribe for more cool updates. Take care and goodbye till the next video.